the one, the only Benzion. Good afternoon and welcome to the final Iyun with Benzion Maseches Nazir. Nazir Daf Samech Vav, number 66. Interesting shir. I want to talk a little bit at the end of the Masechta. Not too much I got into this Masechta. The Gemara ends off with a famous refrain, a famous Gemara that's, I believe, quoted in the Masechtas Brachos and Yevamos, and now Nazir also. Amar Lazar Amchanina Tamid Chamar Marbim Shalom Olam Shnemar Lachamar Nachnu with Shem Rav Shalom Anayach Al Tikar Banayach El Bonayach. Tamid Chama bring shalom into the world, they bring peace into the world. It's a nice way to end off Masechta. It sounds like a very nice thing. The problem I have with this is that, men are competitive. That's the way the world is. Men are competitive. Women associate, men compete. That makes the whole idea of sports entertaining, debate entertaining. Men are meant to compete in this world. They fight with each other. You shouldn't hit each other, but they fight with words. They fight with swords. Men fight. That's what men do. You compete with each other to win the women. That's the way the world is. So, Talmidei Chachamim, they bring peace to the world. Obviously, peace is a good thing. You don't want to be in a constant state of war, but is it a good thing or not? So I'd like to give my 2 cents. Because I even brought up the question, you can probably figure out which way I'm heading. I don't think it's a good thing to bring peace into the world. I don't think being in a state of war is a good thing. Countries shouldn't get into war with each other. World peace is a good thing. But a lot of times, when I used to go to school and halacha, I remember in high school, there were only 3 choices, is it mutter, aser, or machlokas? It's always machlokas. 85% of the questions are machlokas. And you see over here, even the Gemara, previous Gemara on Salvav Beis, the Gemara has a question: who gets more schar, the person who makes the bracha, or the person who answers Amen? And the word machlokas. A lot of times there's not clarity. When you don't have clarity, it's not good. You have shalom. You have one. Yes, we find an opinion who says this, and we find an opinion who says that. But that's shalom. Everyone has an opinion. And that's what the Torah does. The Torah brings to you different opinions, legitimate. Only the Tanoim and Amoraim can have legitimate opinions. But at the end of the day, a person learning the Gemara, his job is to figure out the right answer. Very, very, very rarely does the Gemara actually paskin from the Gemara itself, Hilchasa. Sometimes the Gemara does, but usually the Gemara does not leave off with a clear, defined halacha. And that's why you have the poskim and the Rif and the Rush and the Rambam and the Torah and the Shulchan Aruch. They try to decide what's the correct halacha, and that's really, it's really up to anyone who's learning the Gemara. If you have enough background in learning Gemara and you've seen enough of the poskim, you could, become someone who's qualified to give your view. You're allowed to. I don't think you just have to be a rabbi. There's no such thing as a rabbi nowadays. There's no smicha. It's not a real concept because you learn hilchas basar v'chalav. You become a rabbi to answer hilchas Shabbos. No. It's someone who's learning for a number of years. I'd say 5-10 years. And it's someone who's learned the Iyun. He knows how to think intuitively in the Gemara and try to analyze the Gemara well. You try to decide based on the sugya who the halacha should be like. Okay, one opinion says it's greater to be the mavar. One person says it's greater to be the ona. So which one should you try to be when when you're in your own house and you're leading a zimun? Should you take the zimun and do the zimun, lead the zimun yourself, or should you, or should you let someone else do it? It depends over here whether the mavar gets more schar or the ona gets more schar. The Gemara doesn't tell you. The Gemara says Tanai. It's Malas Tanai. The Talmidei Chachamim are always making shalom. They're always making possibilities, which is good to have possibilities, legitimate possibilities. But the best thing is to debate and come to a conclusion at the end of the debate and win the debate. That's really the point of the world, right? To the victor are the spoils. If you win, you get all the spoils. If you lose, you've lost. You don't get any spoils. But even worse than losing is not making a decision yourself. That is the worst possible thing. The worst possible thing, that's really just gets to human consciousness. It's really, that's what the idea of free will in this world is that, from a young age, we're asked to make decisions, and making decisions is not easy. So you usually have 2 options. You can narrow it down to 2 options. It's either yes or no, do this or don't do this. And we don't always know what the right decision is, but the worst possible thing is to say it's too hard to make a decision. I'll ask somebody. I keep on asking people, and I'll let them and they don't tell me what to do, I'll ask someone else. I'll run around and ask. You can't make your own decision. You can't live life like that. You have to make decisions, and that's the whole concept of tshuva, that even if you make the wrong decision, you have the ability to do tshuva. You have the ability to regret it, and you'll figure it out. You'll realize very soon it was the wrong decision. You'll regret it. You'll do charata, and you'll move on. You'll fix it, and you'll fix it. You won't make the mistake the next time. So, yeah, that's the whole power of tshuva. That even if you're wrong, and Hashem knows you're going to be wrong a lot, but you'll realize, you'll feel guilty. You'll realize very soon. If you don't do anything, that's not doing tshuva. That's like not making a decision. But if you realize and you fix it, so that's the kind of tshuva. You can move on and make the right decision the next time. But the worst thing is not to make a decision. And shalom is a good thing with your wife. Shalom bayis is good. Man and woman should make shalom, should have a great relationship. Ultimate relationship, man and woman, is connecting. That's what men and women are supposed to connect. They're supposed to bringing us close to shalom bayis is the minimum. But the best is to have a great love between a husband and wife. But when it comes to men, they compete with each other. That's the way it is. Men compete with each other. It's always a competition. Business is always a competition. Even if you're a Talmud Chacham, you still want to be the big Rosh Hashiva. You want to be the rabbi. You want to be the Ram. It's a world of competition out there to anyone who looks at him in the right way. So, often some Chamim on the vater, they'll say, "No, I want them to have. I'll do chesed for the other people." That's the wrong attitude. The wrong attitude. Yes, Talmidei Chacham do this, but it's not the right attitude. It doesn't mean just because the Gemara states it at the end. It tells you the fact they are marvim shalom ba'olam. Is that a good thing? No, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. The Torah writes the truth about the world. It doesn't tell you whether it's good or bad. You have to decide whether it's good or bad to make the decision. A lot of times people will go with the hard scroll or rely on the hard scroll. Never rely on somebody else. Always rely on yourself because you know best. You should trust only yourself. That's the truth. That's my explanation over here. They'll give shalom. They'll have two opinions. No one will reach a consensus. Oftentimes, Mr. Brura just machmir on everything. Being machmir on everything is not reaching a decision. That's not deciding. It's not making a decision. When you're just machmir because you don't make a decision, that's why the Gemara says it's better to be makel, because someone who's makel knows that he's probably more accurate. The brother's machmir. Anyone can be machmir because it's very easy. It's not making a decision. It's very hard to make a decision. If you made a decision, you said it's mutter, he's probably right. That's a lesson I'd like to bring out from this Gemara. I believe that's the Gemara is really telling you at the end of so many Masechtas that shalom is not a good thing. You have to make decisions in life. You have to compete in life. And only if you compete, then you can win. And if you can win, to the victor is the spoils. Hope you enjoy Masechtas Nazir. See you in Masechtas Sota.